Hi guys, this is Little Scribe. Now I'm all giggly. So I want to introduce you to my ancestry. I did a 23andMe spit test, and then I sent in my sample and registered for the reports, and then they send them to you online. So I wanted to show you like me, and it's so fun. You guys, it was a birthday present, and I think it was a birthday present actually last July 2017, and then I just like never did it, and then because I was all paranoid that the government was gonna steal my identity. I was like, I don't want them having my health stuff. What if insurance companies find out that I have cancerous tumors and then I never get covered or whatever? And so finally, like a year later, my husband's like, are you gonna do that? And so I did the spit test, and then I had the like vial of spittle with, it has like this formaldehyde in it, and so it preserves it. And I went to take it to the mailbox and it wouldn't fit. So then I took it back home and I set it on the counter, and I'm like, oh, I'll take it tomorrow. And then like I forgot about it. And 2 months later, and I was like, oh, I found my spittle. Like my spit package, my Pack-O-Spit. And I was like, what do I do? This is gross. And then my husband's like, no, it's formaldehyde. It'll hold for years. So I'm like, send it in or not send it in? You decide. So I went ahead and sent it in, and then I forgot about it. And then we moved, and like several months later, my husband's like, hey, did you ever check your results? Should we go online and check them? And then I didn't even remember my password. Luckily, I wrote it down. Here we are now, and we're gonna look at me. What do you guys think I'm gonna be? I deliberately did not do my hair or makeup today. I want you to like just see what I look like so that you can see if these truly are my ancestral genetics. I have Neanderthal ancestry, you guys. I am a proud caveman. I have 38% Neanderthal variants. I think that's awesome. And then my DNA family. Which one do you guys want to see first? Let's look at my ancestry. Wait, I want to see my DNA family. Becky, you have 963 DNA relatives in your 23andMe DNA family. You and each of your DNA relatives share identical segments of DNA that were passed down to both of you from a shared ancestor. Okay, so I have 11 close family to second cousins on 23andMe. Oh my gosh, I gotta find out who they are. I have 952 third to fourth cousins. And then I have many fifth to distant cousins. What is a fifth cousin? I don't know. Learn more. It just means fourth, my fourth great grandparents. Children's children. Wow, this is a cool chart. So my grandparents' children's children would be my first cousins. My great-grandparents' children's would be my second cousin. Get it? So my fifth cousins. I don't know. Let's actually look at my ancestry, shall we? Okay, so it says that I am 32.3% British and Irish. Let's find out why. So there's this color-coded chart of all of these places in the world that I come from. I do not come from, I come from Africa. Look at that. Sub-Saharan African. I'm from the Congo. Bet you didn't know that. And I'm broadly Sub-Saharan African, just so you know. Here, let's click on my Congolese. Look, from the Congo. 0.5% of my genetic makeup comes from Congo, the Congo. So let's look at when that happened, because it's probably during the 17 and 1800s. When you want to guess that? Yep, 1710 to 1800s during the slave trade. And so probably one of my baby daddy plantation owners had a baby with a Congolese, and bam, you got me. That's where I came from. So all of our questions have been answered about the origins of me. Okay, and then I have all of these, the British, Irish. Okay, let's go back and look. Let's collapse that. So 22 of me is Scandinavian, like Denmark. That's this blue country right here. See that? Oh, no, it's the dark blue country. I need to learn my geology. Or is it geography? I think it's geology. Geography is the study of rocks, and geology is the study of geologics. Geology is the study of geodes. Geology is the study of the earth. Geology is the study. Okay, so that's Denmark. So I come from Denmark. 22% of me comes from Denmark. And then 24% of me comes from Norwegia. Norway. So let's click on Norway and see what happens. Okay. Broadly Northwestern European. So it says right here, Northwestern Europeans are represented by people from as far west as Ireland, as far north as Norway, as far east as Finland, and as far south as France. So basically the entire... I always thought Scandinavia was like that. I thought Norwegian meant like Norway, and Scandinavia meant like all the countries. Because if you're Denmark, then you would be Danish. If you're Norwegian, or if you're from Norway, you would be Norwegian. If you're from all of them, you would be Scandinavian. That's kind of how I feel. So 23andMe is wrong. I'm mostly just Norwegian. I'm 22% Denmark, and I'm 24% the rest of the Norwegian territories. So basically that's 46% Norwegian, Scandinavian. That was Norwegian for my name is Little Scribe. I am Norwegian and Scandinavian by 46.2%. I'm 32% Celtic, Saxon, and Viking. The modern British Commonwealth is composed of 52 member states found on every continent except Antarctica, and the English language is a lingua franca for global economic exchange. So I'm 32% that. And then my last big one is French and German. French and German people descend from ancient Alpine, Celtic, and Germanic populations and inhabit an area extending from the Nederlanders to Austria. Nederlanden, Austria. Roughly corresponding to the extent of Charlemagne's Frankish kingdom in the Middle Ages. By the way, okay, huge BTW, I should find the report. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it in this video. But there's this report that I read like 2 years ago. Was it the National Geographic? I don't think it was, but it was somebody cool like that. They did this report that proved that anyone who comes from European descent is related to Charles the Great. Algorithmic mathematical formula where they figured out there's like this hourglass where we started out as a very populous, diverse people, and then the more we like reproduced with each other, actually the more closely related we became. Ironically, right? And then we got down to Charles the Great, and then we like went back out again, which I don't understand why. I don't know. But it seems like he was a busy guy. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much me. I am British, 32% British, 46% Nederlander, 17% French German, and then the rest, I do have a little bit of Italian, Eastern European. I don't have any Asian at all. I don't have any Pacific Islands. I don't have any, is that Iceland there or Greenland? I don't have any Greenland. I do have some Icelandish. There's something like on my nose. I think it's an Icelandish booger. I do have Iceland or is that Iceland? See, I need to follow up on my geography. Let's look at my health. Let's see if I have any like genetically infectious diseases. And then traits are like, do I like broccoli? Is my hair blonde? That kind of stuff. So carrier status. All of these different ones. Rsax, agenesis of corpus callosum with peripheral neuropathy. Actually, I do have a friend who has that. It's true. I think agenesis of the corpus callosum with peripheral neuropathy is where our brains have two hemispheres, the left and the right. And then there's this like crevice or valley between them that's called the corpus callosum, which means large body. I don't know why it's that, but essentially there's like this gap between the brains where the neurons can meet in the middle. And if your corpus callosum is too big, then I can't remember what happens. Something happens. Let's look it up. Corpus callosum too big, too wide. It just means you're smart. That's what it is, because he has an IQ of like, it's off the charts. They said that they had to guess. If they had to guess, he would be like a 186. And he has like this large corpus callosum. It says positive correlations between corpus callosum thickness and intelligence. So I'm not saying that if you're smart, you have a large corpus callosum, but I am saying that if you have a large corpus callosum, you're probably a little smarter than the average potato. That being said, I do not have a large corpus callosum, so maybe that's why I need to study up on my geology. Okay, focus. Anyways, I don't have any variants detected, which is good. That means I do not have any of these things. All right, it says this one, BRCA, that's breast cancer 1 and breast cancer 2. I do not have any variants detected. I feel like there's something in my teeth. Now we're going to talk about my personal physical traits. The first thing you'll notice is they've got a color of what they think my eye probably looks like. And it's actually pretty dead on. Like this kind of darker blue over here is just about the color of my eye. That's kind of cool. And now we're going to go down a list of items that they have delineated that they believe I will either likely have or likely not have, or like varying degrees of likelihood. Okay? So I'm going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down if that trait is indeed applicable to me. So the first one they have is more likely to be able to match a musical pitch. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. More likely than average to be afraid of heights. Ding, ding, ding. The first time I figured out that I was afraid of heights was in college. I went on a hike to Half Dome with some friends, but I was so scared. We were hiking Half Dome and they have this like 45-degree grade that you have to climb up the back of the rock, and there's like a rope and a ladder that you crawl up the wall or the rock with, and all my friends were like, oh, this is great, we're gonna make it up the hill, and I was just like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. I'm pretty sure, like the whole way up. And then we get to the top and it's like 9,000 feet above sea level, and everyone else is like taking pictures and oh, it looks so beautiful up here, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall off the edge of the cliff and die. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall. And like they were getting, 2 and 3 feet away from the edge, and I could like physically feel inside of my body this pain of like
death. Like when they were walking to the edge, I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even hardly move. I mean, it's a very large surface. It's like the size of a football field up there. And I was like, I'm staying in the middle. I'm staying in the middle. And then I would have to like inch my way toward the edge just to get a picture just long enough that I could prove I actually made the climb. And then I would run back to the middle and I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I think I did it like 3 more times. Yes, I'm afraid of heights. Ironically, I have no problem flying on an airplane. I don't so much love roller coasters or bungee jumping or parachuting. I've never done bungee jumping or parachuting, nor do I have a desire to, nor will I ever do so. Unless I'm compelled by a stronger and more urgent force, such as Brussels sprouts, which brings me to my next one. Do raw broccoli or Brussels sprouts taste bitter to you? Yes, they do. What I mean by this is it's not going to help if you hire a gourmet chef to marinate them in a homegrown, naturally virgin olive pressed oil and sprinkle them with the best herbs and spices you have from the Red Sea and from your garden, and then smoke them for a week naturally on cedar wood and then bake it in the oven until they're buttery tender. Like, there is nothing you can do that will change the fact that I can taste the bitterness of the Brussels sprout. Everything else about it that you did to it is delicious, but overpowered by the bitterness of the Brussels sprout. I'm sorry. It's just the way my genetics told my tongue to taste that vegetable. And while we're on the subject, I am not a picky eater. I don't have a picky bone in my body. I will eat anything you put in front of me. And I mean anything except for maybe fish. Like, there are some fish I will eat. I'm not a huge fan of sriracha or chipotle. Like, they're kind of weird. That's about it. Like, everything else under the sun, I will eat. I'll eat it. Pickled herring, maybe not so much, but I love kimchi, pickled pickles, green olives, avocados, greens. I just don't like Brussels sprouts, and I don't like broccoli. Okay, so get off my back. My husband, on the other hand, has the genetic predisposition to not taste bitter things, and as it happens, he loves Brussels sprouts and he loves broccoli, and so does our son. So you gotta wonder. I am more likely to experience hair photobleed. I can smell asparagus odor. Doesn't everyone smell asparagus? Are you telling me there's people who cannot smell asparagus? You can't smell that? You're weird. Dimples. This says I likely have no dimples. That's wrong, because I likely do have dimples. See, right here. That's a dimple. When I smile, you can see my dimples. Slightly higher odds of disliking cilantro. That's actually a falsehood. I love cilantro. Anything you put cilantro in, I will love, except for Brussels sprouts. Likely detached earlobes, that's false, because take a look at these. Those are as attached as earlobes can possibly be. So attached that my ears are like small, like a child's ear, to the point that I actually have to wear child earbuds in my ear canals. Baby ears. Likely wet earwax. I really don't know the answer to that. Ooh, likely your ring finger is longer than your, I know what they're asking is it's longer than your index finger, your pointer finger. And my ring fingers are shorter than my index finger. So that one is a likely little freckling. I have quite a bit of freckling. You can't really see it as much now, but I've always kind of had freckles. See? I don't know if you can see them. I don't know if I should be getting that close to the camera either. I'm gonna stay over here. Likely to not take a shower today. Less likely to have thick hair. That is true. Ding ding. I do not have super thick hair. Average odds of hating chewing sounds. There's a word for it. It's misophonia. Misophonia. What that means is basically semi-likely to hate chewing sounds. And I'm just gonna tell you straight up, I don't love chewing sounds, but I don't hate them. It depends on what the chewing sound is, who's making the chewing sound, how they're making it, what they're eating, and how I'm feeling that day. Like sometimes I like the sound of chewing. I like the sound of horses chewing. Is that really weird? And like listening to him chew on that carrot was one of the most mesmerizing things I've ever experienced. And to this day, I love the sound of horses chewing. Am I the only one who feels that way? Likely no photic sneeze reflex. I definitely sneeze when I go outside, like when it's bright out. Oh, every time. Likely prefers salty. Ding, 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 for sure. Like if you gave me a bag of potato chips and a bowl of candy, I would pick the potato chips every time, like 98% of the time. Then again, if you gave me a bag of potato chips and a plate of chocolate cake, I would pick the chocolate cake, but not necessarily every time. Let's see, likely big toe longer. Okay, I think that's referring to this, like this toe, because I do know some people that this toe is longer than this toe. I actually have a friend who has like really long middle toe, and she kind of looks like a monkey in a way, because she's like bloop bloop. I'm not saying you're a monkey if you have a longer middle toe, but I kind of am saying you're a monkey if you have a long middle toe. Mine's just kind of this nice little incline. Doop, 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 doop. Don't look at my toenails though, because I need to trim them, and also don't look at my foot because it's dirty, and also I have a callus on my foot, so don't look at my foot. Gross. Likely to have no unibrow. I'm pretty sure I have 2 eyebrows. Nothing here. I'm just not a very hairy individual. I just realized you probably saw my non-shaved leg. I'm sorry, I'm gross. I like have no shower today, no shaved legs, dirty feet. This is me like at my worst. I hope you still love me after this video. Likely to wake up around 7:55 a.m. Okay, that one's actually pretty close, because if I have no alarm clock, I usually wake up by about 7:30. So that's pretty accurate. Likely no widow's peak. That's like Elvira, right? I do not have a widow's peak, but I had a roommate who had a widow's peak, and she was so gorgeous. She had like this thick, black, shiny hair, and like the widow's peak, it made it so she could like flip it to either side, and it would just look amazing. And me, I was always just like, I'm done, I'm gonna go to school now. But she would like her hair and then just sort of like walk into a room. And she was also a Mary Kay consultant and would like put lipstick on all the time and be like, let's pick out your lipstick colors. And I was always like, I don't know what to do with this information. I'm gonna go now. I was like, I did not wear makeup until, I never wore lipstick until like probably 3 years ago when I worked in a law firm, and everybody was like, you need to put lipstick on. I never wore it then, and now I wear it like all the time, and I feel like sometimes I just don't want to wear it at all, like today. That's me. Those are my traits. That's my ancestry. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope that none of you have infectious diseases in your heritage.